But you have to trust me.
Look at you.
Hello guys, welcome back. This time, the admin will summarize the film, whose story centers on a handsome and successful man who tries to live a free and reckless love relationship. So let's go to the video. One night in one of the bars, a man was waiting for the arrival of his lover. The man named Julian. Suddenly, a sexy woman named Michael invited him to get acquainted. Julian seemed enamored with Michael, especially when the woman made a drink personally for him, which made his gaze not escape the curves of the woman's body. Shortly afterward, his lover Julian, named Brenda, arrived. The two women got acquainted, and Michael excused himself as he didn't want to interrupt their date, but Julian's gaze remained focused on the woman he had just met as Julian and Brenda continued their lovemaking. But in the middle of the activity, Julian felt very unwell and then vomited. Brenda felt worried about her lover's condition, but Julian asked her to leave because he wanted to calm down. In the morning, Julian, who works as the head of strategy at a company, was having a meeting with one of the largest companies called Prevalis. At the meeting, Julian continued to pay attention to the movements and appearance of the people in the company as a whole. He did so to guess the wishes of his business partners to make the collaboration a success. Then Julian expressed his opinion, which made the Prelis feel interested in doing business with their company. But the company had also visited other parties because their project included a lot of money. They wanted to select and compare whose strategy was better, so they said they would contact Julian to attend a strategy meeting with the other company to compare whose idea was better. After the Prelis left, his boss, E.J., said that if Julian managed to get the project, he would hand it over to him because he was retiring soon, and asked Julian to replace his position at the company. Julian was not expecting the sudden promotion, but EJ said that it would happen if Julian succeeded in getting the project, so that he felt at ease giving the position to the right person. A few days later, Julian saw Michael with his friend in the car. He followed the woman's car until it stopped at a festival. Julian then approached him and exchanged words, like accidentally meeting. They chatted and got to know each other. On the way home, a man greeted Michael, but it seemed that the relationship between them was not good. Julian felt very upset to see the woman he liked being treated harshly, so he finally hit the man. But fortunately, there was no big commotion. Michael, who saw the incident, felt very worried when he saw Julian's injured hand. So they both went to Julian's apartment to treat his injured hand. When he got there, Julian asked who the man was, and Michael said that it was just a friend, but the man was obsessed with him. It was not in vain for Julian to get to know the woman he liked better until finally, Julian, who likes photography, offered to take pictures of Michael with his camera. Without further ado, Michael immediately undressed his clothes, which made Julian even more interested in fucking the beautiful woman. But Julian's attention was drawn to Michael's arm, which was covered in cuts, and then the woman told him about her happy past with their family. But one day, her mother changed and often got drunk, and Michael was often tortured whenever her mother was upset. He could only cry in the bathroom and scratch his own hands every time he was tortured. Hearing that sad story, Julian felt sympathy and gave a passionate kiss. But that night, Julian still could not get Michael's body because the woman was still not ready to make love. The next day, Julian was called by the company advisor regarding the fight he had the other day. It turned out that the man who was hit by Julian filed a lawsuit and asked for compensation. The man named Larry asked Julian to immediately take care of the problem so as not to affect the project they would get. One night, Julian is contacted by Michael, who wants to meet him. When he arrived there, Julian was told to get into Michael's car, who promised to give something fantastic to the man. It turned out that Michael was there with two female friends. The woman immediately teased Julian by closing her eyes and guaranteeing that Julian would like the surprise she prepared. Suddenly from the front seat appeared one of Michael's friends and immediately made love to Julian. The man thought that the woman was Michael. Michael was recording the activity with passion, but after a while, Julian realized that the woman was not Michael, probably because she smelled different. And sure enough, when Julian opened his blindfold, a strange woman sat on his lap and a camera recorded the incident. Seeing Michael's behavior made Julian very angry because he felt played. But the woman said her real intention was only to please Julian with a passionate game of lovemaking. She apologized and said she would not repeat it. As angry as Julian was, he still could not resist the woman's temptation. Michael's beautiful face was so pleading that he got back into the car, where he continued to seduce Julian with his body until they finally made love in the car, while two of Michael's friends were filming their activities.